Want to know everything that's happened in Universal Studios Orlando this week, including the Jurassic World VelociCoaster opening, celebrities, brand new restaurants, and more? Well, you're in the right place, for you're watching WUNU, your weekly Universal news and updates, where I'm going to go over that and a ton more in this video. So stick around, and let's go straight into the first topic. General news, where I have so much happening for the VelociCoaster this week that I'm actually going to go on a timeline for the VelociCoaster itself. So starting us off, a new in-world video had been put in the VelociCoaster queue, showing us clips from the movies and adding additional CGI raptors into ride footage to make it more themed towards the ride and make it look like there's actually raptors in the pen, which is really cool in my opinion. I think that this is a little pre-show that is a nice thing to have. It's not something that shows you a ton of the story, but it kind of just emphasizes that this is actually an attraction that was supposed to be in Jurassic World. Next up, the VelociCoaster stopped previews on Wednesday to prepare for the opening on Thursday. And the reasoning why they actually did this is because the VelociCoaster media event was on Wednesday. This actually caused there to be a hot set in port of entry across the lagoon from the VelociCoaster. Now, people attending the media event got lanyards that had the VelociCoaster on them that look like a really fun collectible. However, these are very rare because they're for the media event. And also for this event, actor Kenan Thompson was there. He was the only celebrity who was really seen here. However, people are pretty sure that there was a lot more celebrities here. Also, as Islands opened on Thursday, the opening day of the VelociCoaster, people were running to get to the VelociCoaster. It accumulated a 240-minute wait before it even opened. Now, the coaster ended up opening at 10 instead of its original 9 time. Now, we don't really know why this happened. However, it opened an hour later than it was supposed to. And because this line was so long, the Forbidden Journey's extended queue was actually used for the VelociCoaster. This kind of shows how big of a line that this actually got, as this is a ride in a completely different land from Jurassic Park, and also just how much Universal actually predicted the lines would be and how accurate they were. Also, on opening day, churros were given to guests while they were getting off of the VelociCoaster. Free churros when you got off the ride. Now, they actually ran out of churros for a little bit. However, later in the day, they would come back. This is something that is never like something I'd seen before, because Universal was definitely running this thing at kind of a loss for the amount that they were giving out for churros. However, they gave out churros the entire day. A ton of people got them, and it's just really cool. Also, Bill Davis, which is Universal's COO, was at the opening, and he had his churro high in the sky. Also, the Today Show filmed at the VelociCoaster on its opening day, Thursday. Now, as time went on, the wait would actually slow down to about 75 minutes, which is around what it was in pre-shows. So, though this had a very big line when it opened, it kind of slowed down. It is still an insanely popular ride. However, they're running it in a much more efficient way, so the wait isn't as long. Also, the VelociCoaster track and the entire ride was added to the overview map on the app, where you can now see it here. It's an update to the map that they had, and some other things were also updated, which I'm going to go over soon, and the VelociCoaster was added to it, so you can now find it a lot easier on this map. Also, the coaster would be open late in the next day due to weather. However, signs read a 100-minute wait for the ride, but it seems that the waits tend to be around 1/4 of the stated time, so even if it's a 100-minute wait, I would suggest getting on this, because a lot of people are saying that this is a world-class roller coaster, one of the best in Orlando. So even if it's 100 minutes, you should get on it. However, keep in mind that the waits have been a lot shorter than they're currently saying on the signs. Okay, out from the VelociCoaster, Universal Studios became 31 years old on Monday. That is awesome. They have been open since 1990. and they are still going strong, making amazing roller coasters and amazing rides. So good job, Universal. Also in the field of birthdays, Hagrid's became 2 years old on Sunday, meaning that actually Hagrid's and the VelociCoaster opened very close to each other, only being 3 days apart in opening dates. So that's really cool. Also, photographers for Shrek and Minions meet and greets have now returned. Before, guests could only take selfies, however now they will take professional pictures for you, and you can get photo packages for them. Back over to park maps, physical maps in the parks now show the show buildings with their roofs instead of the normal, more exaggerated versions of the rides that they have here. The VelociCoaster was also added to the cover of these maps. Also, COVID restrictions are no longer stated in these maps. As for the online map, Blue Man Group was actually removed from here because it is no longer showing or anything in there, and you can now no longer see Blue Man Group on the app. Next up, on Wednesday, team members were training for the reopening of Storm Force Acceleratron, running the ride with safety reminders back and everything. So obviously this is going to be opening soon, as it's been closed for nearly a year at this point. However, it is now going to be reopened soon, or at least we can assume so, since they were running the ride in testing the other day. Finally, the water level of the studio's lagoon was actually lowered so that service could be done to the fountains. However, it would be re-raised all the way on Friday. So that is a lot of stuff for the VelociCoaster. However, there are some other updates for it, which we can see in my next topic. Construction, a topic where I've said about the VelociCoaster and some other things. So this week, the part of the VelociCoaster sign that read opening June 10th was removed to reveal a wait time counter for the ride to show you what its wait time is, meaning that this is actually the ride's official sign other than its main entrance sign, because the main entrance is actually quite far from the pathway. Now, this was on its opening day on Thursday, which makes a lot of sense because they wouldn't need a wait time before that. Also, in the VelociCoaster's queue, permanent plants were placed outside instead of there being planters on wheels, which is how there was before. However, now these plants just are permanently here and they're not going anywhere. Also, before it opened, umbrellas were actually added to the VelociCoaster's extended queue for shade because of how hot it was out here. And also for some other reason, I believe there was a story about people throwing ice or something, and I don't know if this has to do with that. However, I didn't look into that, so I'm not really sure about it. Also on Isla Nublar, the fighting dinosaurs returned to the Pizza Predatoria sign. I had a huge rant about these in my last episode, and I'm not going to talk about them a ton. However, it's fun that they're back, as they're just a cool little thing that they put on their sign that is just funny to look at. Over in Seuss Landing, a stand labeled Brown and Black's Icy Snacks now just reads icy for its potentially offensive nature. Now, this is not intended to sound racist, because these characters are actually from the now discontinued book Hop on Pop. It features these characters, which is black and brown, and they're actually named after the color of their clothes, not skin colors or anything. However, it can be taken as something racist, and obviously that is not correct and not what Universal wants in their pictures, so they just have it now say icy. Next up, Toon Lagoon water features were actually finished in refurbishment, and they had their barriers removed and were turned back on. They're now a lot brighter and have some non-slip pavement under them, and they are all back open. So that's a lot of stuff about inside the parks. However, let's take a quick trip out of them in my next topic. City Walk, one of my topics that is very short but actually very meaningful. So this week, art was put onto the old Fusion Bistro and Sake Bar. If you don't know, this was a little restaurant that had Japanese things that was up on top. It was quick service, and it is now closed. However, this one seems to be Asian themed. Now, I don't know what the date of its opening will be. I know that it was actually announced as of the time of making this video. However, I don't know the exact date, so I'll be going over that next week. However, this is going to be open soon, so just be ready for that. Next up, on Thursday, the VelociCoaster opening day, the lines into Islands actually stretched all the way past Hard Rock Cafe, which, if you don't know, is actually on the other side of City Walk. Now, compared to like Hagrid's lines, this is like nothing. However, this is a pretty big line that was there on opening day. Also, some VelociCoaster signs were put in the hub as an advertisement for the ride. Finally, a new security scanner that does not require guests to remove items from their person was tested on Thursday. It is called a CEIA scanner. So we have some things about food that's soon to be. However, let's take a look at food that is now in my next topic. Restaurants, a topic that's short and sweet, but this week it's a lot more sweet. So this week, the Hollywood or Bust Cart in Kids Zone now has a menu. It serves cake and ice cream, Belgian Liege waffles, and Belgian Liege waffle sundaes. Now these are all just sweets, however they're pretty cool looking and they look really good when you look at the food, and I think that they're a good buy if you want something sweet. Also this week, some of the Olympic food booths actually closed for a few days. Now we don't really know why this is, and they haven't reopened yet for my knowledge. However, I'm sure they'll be back soon as the Olympics haven't actually happened yet, so that it wouldn't make sense for them to close them now. So that's some sweets. However, we can see an event that has a lot of sweets in my next topic. The Scary Good event, Halloween Horror Nights. So this week, a new speculation map came out. Now, keep in mind that this is just rumors and what people think will happen, not what actually is happening, so just keep that in mind while I read this off. Now, this one says that Creep Show is also a possibility with Halloween 3. So it can be one or the other. They're not really sure about it, or, like, yet again, it's a speculation map, so we're not sure if any of this is going to happen. However, the assumption here is that it's Creep Show or Halloween 3, not really one or the other. It also lists the Scare Zones as the 30th Anniversary Zone, Seek and Destroy, Eddie Zone, Terra Cruentus, and Shudder. Eddie Zone, I assume, is referring to the person who is supposed to be Jack's brother, however, ended up not happening. However, I'm not really sure. I'm excited to see what this is, and I'm pretty sure that the last speculation map we had didn't actually list Scare Zones, so that's a step in the right direction. It also lists the show as being Jack's stage show. Now, I don't really know what this is supposed to mean, however, hearing that it's going to be Jack's sounds amazing. If you don't know, Jack the Clown was the first icon, and he is one of the most popular icons. He is my personal favorite icon, and if he has a show for the 30th anniversary, I'll be quite happy. So this is a kind of fear that kind of has to do with just seeing scary things. However, let's go with the type of fear that feels like being in a near-death experience and some things based off of it for my next topic. Resorts, where we have even more VelociCoaster news. So, on Thursday, a new drink called the Raptor Rush became available in Hard Rock's Velvet Bar. It is a White Claw blackberry, blue cacao, 100% pineapple juice, garnished with a cherry and mint. This seems like a cool drink, and it's really brightly colored, and it's fun to see more things coming out for the VelociCoaster. So that's stuff for people in resorts who are probably staying here. However, we can look at people who probably don't stay here as often in my next topic. ULAP news, where this week the July button was revealed. It is a donut-themed button that is themed to The Simpsons. It is Homer's donut, and it is actually quite iconic in the Simpsons universe. So that was a super short topic. However, we can start getting into ones a little bit longer with my next topic. Merchandise, where I go over all of the new stuff that Universal has for sale. So this week, most masks are actually now buy one, get one free. This makes a lot of sense, as masks are no longer required for people and guests in the parks, and even team members don't have to wear them outside anymore, so they're probably just trying to get rid of inventory. Now, this does not include all masks, but it does include Popeye, Universal logo, Love is Universal, Harry Potter candy themed, Betty Boop, Hello Kitty, security, and marquee masks. Also, new Jurassic World patches that were previously only on t-shirts became available. They are for the Dinosaur Observation Committee, They Were Here First, T-Rex Encounter, Rural Dinosaur Conservationist of the United States of America, a few that have to do with velociraptors, and a one for Gallimimus. Also, a new Jurassic World pink tropical tumbler and a Camp Cretaceous notebook became available. Finally, Island Trading Co. received new Spirit jerseys for Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and Hufflepuff. Now, the front has stripes that are the house's main color, and the back has the name of the house embroidered on it in a fun little font with different colors, and I think that this is a really cool looking Spirit jersey. So those are all the main things I found in the park, but I also find some small things, so let's look at those. My only small thing for this week is that another VelociCoaster Easter egg was seen before it opened. A monitor reads, "You didn't say the magic word," as a reference to Dennis Nedry. It has a VelociCoaster head on a person shaking their finger, and this is a reference to when Nedry makes it so that Arnold cannot hack into his computer to change the security systems. So that's everything that I could find in Universal Studios Orlando this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. It took me a while to make, and if you liked it, please leave a like and or subscribe. It helps push this to more people so they can be informed too, and it helps me out personally. Yet again, thank you so much for watching, but I don't want to ramble on for an outro, so I'm going to finish it here and say thank you for watching. This is Wunu, signing off.